First of all, our apologies for not having an episode last week. It's an interesting story. Matt's stuff did not record at all. We have an idea of what to do with that episode, so it's not completely gone forever. But we've got something for you today, and the biggest part of our show is we are going to hear from Steven Kadawoki on how he liked his game Snowrunner. So sit back and enjoy that and so much more this week on the Free Play Podcast.
You are listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Kadawaki, part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network.
What's up, nerds? My name is Bubba Stallcup, and you're listening to the Free Play Podcast, part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network. And join with me as always, I say as always, except for last week when we didn't have an episode. Matt Warmbier.
I'm here, and hopefully I'm being heard. I wasn't ready. I took a drink. We last week recorded an episode, and
You're doing great.
my audio decided not to record. Okay, I take it back. It recorded nothing. It recorded not my voice. It recorded dead air. And I honestly have no idea how that happened. And then today, I let Bubba hack into my system, into the mainframe. Think Jurassic Park when they're trying to get the systems back up. Bubba got into my mainframe.
Smoke.
Well, you did for this site.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, it would have worked. And you couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. Mr. Al Gore Rhythm couldn't figure it out.
Well, Al Gore's Rhythms had no idea.
You know what they call that, right? You know what they call that?
What?
It's a spiritual attack. You got to rebuke it. Did you rebuke?
I was not ready for that.
Yeah, okay.
Did you?
You guys heard me.
Did you rebuke your recording software? Just tell me that. Yes or no?
I think I rebuked it before, and it took it as like a personal insult, so it stopped recording. It. Yeah.
I think at the very least you grounded it.
Well, we'll try again next week. You hear me?
Yeah.
Make me come back there.
It's grounded for some days.
So I'm sorry, everyone. That's going to be a lost episode. And I was going to don't ever change your background while I'm trying to talk again. Okay. My plan was, I told Bubba this, that I was going to do a live listen through, and I was going to talk to you both while it was playing.
Which I liked. I liked that idea.
And I would. I
think we saved that.
It would be
we
funny.
save it.
It would be really funny.
You know what Steven said? To just release it, and then just have
that's
there
his.
be
That's Steven's answer for everything.
Choose your own
just
adventure, Matt. You can say whatever you want. No, you can say whatever you want for me. Like, you get to be the Matt this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, like I was saying, I played Legend of Zelda, and
great idea.
My computer broke again because I'm an idiot. Computers. And also joining us is Kate Kadawaki. Hey, Kate.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Kate's here too.
It's always
real talk. I love that idea of just like every now and again releasing an episode without one of us, and then they fill in the blanks.
An hour-long episode of just silence. It sounds real official.
No. Like if they took away, I'd want to hear the recording. Like, you can be your own podcast host.
Oh, so like a 10-minute
Bubba Stallcup and Kate Kadawaki.
Everybody's always talking about wanting to be on the podcast, and this is how we can do it without actually having to do anything.
Just own it.
Less is less. That's what I say.
Well, make it happen.
Well, hey, we are the Free Play Podcast, and if this is your first time with us, this is basically what it's like. So
with 100% more Matt this week.
Oh my gosh.
Technically 100% more of all of us. We just flat out didn't release an episode last week, and I'm slightly bothered that nobody said anything. I thought that we would get
tears. There's lots of tears.
I mean, sometimes that happens with us, although I was going to say before we discovered, the trauma of what Matt went through with this audio track recording, nothing. I was going to say, you know what, guys, we've made it like pretty good this season with releasing stuff every week and with all of us like being there. Like I've shown up.
Yeah.
I've shown up every week,
I'm proud of you.
So like last season, we had a period of time where you didn't show up, Bubba, and Matt and I had to really like carry the weight.
We had to carry the whole load. We stretched ourselves.
That,
yeah, we stretched. It was crazy.
And look, now Matt's a professional streamer who talks to himself for an hour.
You've really trained him through your absence, trained him to accomplish this feat.
Yeah, I wasn't doing anything during the time I wasn't on the podcast. I was really just like sitting there.
You're like, these guys need this. This is good for them.
Yeah. This is how we learn. This is how we learn.
Well, we rose above, and now we're in season 3, and this was our first mess up, right? And it's May.
Yeah.
It's like halfway through.
No, this isn't it wasn't a mess up. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it was Matt's.
It
It was Matt's fault. It was. Don't blame. Yeah, let's not. I don't want to take any responsibility. If that's cool.
That's fine.
Deal.
I'll
Done.
take responsibility for the fixes. I don't want to have anything to do with the not fixes. Hey, so speaking of how free play are they? We're on Skype right now because we're too cheap for Zoom, and sometimes we go over the 45-minute limit.
We don't need
Every time we do.
We're on Skype, and we have like custom backgrounds. You can change your backgrounds. I was just mentioning before we started rolling that we're the only people that I know of that would have custom backgrounds on an audio-only podcast, where the only people that get a chance to like take all this in is just us. Like we're just doing this for us. If that's not the Free Play Podcast, I don't know what is.
It's fine.
We go through all this headache, everything that happens, all the stuff that we go through. And if nobody listens, we're completely okay with that because we had fun.
That's right. We hope you also
really
had fun.
like.
If you listen,
that's cool.
I think we should put all of our backgrounds up in a post on Twitter, and then the people can take them and use them for their own.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's fine with me.
I took my background from a post on Twitter saying to use it for your own.
Sharing is
caring.
Mine's custom. Mine's a custom job. My background is me sitting on our futon, or I guess it's a love seat, whatever, reading an instruction manual. So you have me in the foreground and me in the background. And every now and then I'll just dip out, and it looks like I'm just reading a book back there.
Also, I'd like to point out that today you happen to be wearing the same shirt that you're wearing in the picture behind you.
Well, it's my podcast
odds?
meeting shirt.
What are the odds?
The odds are I wanted a comfy shirt. I needed to save
in your favor.
Yes, but I had to save some LTN ones for when I stream. So this is what I went with. Star Wars.
I think it's fine.
Yep.
Thanks, Kate.
And my background is actually, it's a still from the intro of WWF No Mercy for the Nintendo 64. It's Scotty 2 Hottie, Rikishi, and I think it's Grandmaster Sexay is what his name is. Getting ready to shake their moneymakers.
Well,
so,
mine.
If that doesn't paint a picture.
Mine is that meme where it's the dog sitting in the flames saying it's fine. That's what.
But instead of the dog, it's Kate.
It's Kate.
I'm in the flames instead. So.
Yeah, my dibs on the flames.
It's fine.
So I guess we can share those. That's fine. I'm sure Kate has already screen capped what's going on right here, right now.
Well, I took some of you too because it was funny, but you're in it, so that's the thing. You're already
None
in
taken.
it, so you're gonna have to move so that other people can use it.
No, I want it like this. Yeah.
There you go.
No, but Matt, you can't get out of it because you are always in it. Like that's the
Just
nature
fine.
of your photo.
I should be sitting back on the love seat. Did you get it, Kate?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's great to be back. It's great
Next
to be
time,
back again.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and kind of move forward. We've got a brand new thing that we want to do, and we do have from last episode. We have Kate. You did one of your Red Dead
it did,
diaries.
That episode.
That's in the lost episode. Okay, so we may clip that and bring it out because we still have that. But we have another segment that I hope lasts until Jesus comes back, because this is Steven Kate, you set it up. What is happening in this clip?
Well, first of all, the new segment that is going to take the world by storm is called Steven Speaks. And
There we go.
it is about my husband, Steven, playing his first ever game on PlayStation.
Is it his first ever?
He doesn't recall.
Game he
It's
wanted to play.
his game.
It's his game.
His game.
It's his very own game that he picked out, that we ordered, that came for him, and he's playing it. He's actually playing it right now as we speak.
Of course
in the
he
other
is.
room. So I just wanted to document his journey with this game, his first ever game that he picked out himself, to see what he thinks about it. And so this is the first episode of hopefully many documenting his adventure with this game. So I did a little interview.
Okay. Here. So this is Steven talking to Kate about his first play.
Okay, it's recording.
Okay.
So you got a package in the mail today. What was it?
Snowrunner,
Which is,
a video game.
and why did you get this game?
Because I saw an ad on YouTube and it looked really cool.
Like, what was cool about it?
It was off-roading and stuff like that. Four-wheel drives and big trucks, and it was all slow moving.
You like slow moving?
No, not that I like slow moving, but normally driving games are just unrealistically fast. And this one is the opposite. It's like real life.
And you take loads of wood, metal, and
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. Service parts, metal, wood planks, and you repair bridges and repair mining areas and oil drill rig areas, and it's like the closest thing to what I do in real life.
You saw last night, wasn't it? You saw something that you drive at work?
Yes. It was a Cat 745C. Google it.
I'm on it.
What area in the game are you excited to see? There's Michigan, Alaska, Russia. Wasn't there one more? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really care. I guess Michigan, the first one.
Shout out, Matt.
Thinking
Good.
about Alaska and the other places is just way too overwhelming for me.
Okay, well, thanks for the exclusive interview. And we'll check in with you after you played the game for a while.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
That was everything I would have hoped it would have been.
So there you go. It's a very pure segment.
This is his Animal Crossing.
I think it is. That's what I was just.
Yeah.
This is his
thinking.
Animal Crossing.
I guess I'll say he said some stuff to me about his thoughts, but I don't want to like spoil it.
Yeah,
for the
I
next
want to hear.
segment.
Okay, yeah, no, hey, keep it to
But
yourself.
he
all right?
has a lot of thoughts. So every day that he plays this game, he tells me what he's done, how much money he has, what he wants to do next. So he has big plans.
I have some questions here.
Okay, I will take them.
Number one, did you have to create his very own PlayStation login, or is he using yours?
He has his own profile on the PlayStation.
Okay, I was wondering that. So he's a legit gamer now.
Yeah, well, he had already made this one. I don't know. Oh, I don't know why he made this one.
Well, because he
had
wanted to
one on
log
there
into his
that-
own. Yeah,
that
to
he's
watch
never,
his own
but
stuff.
he's never used it for anything before. So I don't know why he had.
He
his
has
own
to. He doesn't
already,
need it.
Well, I mean,
was-
as the man of the house.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
kind
have
of makes
your own.
sense.
So he he has his own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question two: How long would you say his gaming sessions are? Like how long will he play for?
Very
On
long
average, yeah.
time. Very
Like-
long time.
Like very long time. Like
How long has he been playing today?
Yeah, half hour.
Yeah, let's see. Today is a good thing. So I woke up, I was getting ready for a meeting. He was already playing, and it was 8 o'clock in the morning. He's out
That's
there.
what I'm talking about.
And he's still playing, and it's 12:45 p.m.
Wow. He's
Get it,
legit
Steven.
gamer.
But today is his off day. So on his off days, he plays a lot because he's bored and he has nothing else to do. On his work days, he completes his day at work. Then he comes home, has a snack, usually cashews and cheese, and then he plays. Then he plays a couple hours.
This is fantastic because he goes to work, drives these vehicles,
He does all this.
basically does this job, and then comes home and practices for his next workday on the video game.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's like Dwight playing what's the game?
Yes, it's Afterlife.
Yeah,
Half-Life.
Afterlife.
Second Life.
Oh, Second Life.
Second Life.
Yeah.
Second
and,
Life.
And in Second Life, he's the exact same as he is.
Yeah.
Except he's the regional manager. But
And I don't have, this is not negative criticism. This is just like me realizing how Steven consumes video games. This is fantastic. Because like where I want to go and I want to be a warrior. I want to be somebody who leaps over tall buildings or is a superhero. Steven wants to drive the trucks that he drives in real life.
He doesn't want to be a superhero. Like all the games that I play, even Red Dead, I was like, now you're ready to play Red Dead, Steven. You did this stuff in Snowrunner. He's like, no, I don't want to. I can't. It's too much.
Maybe he'd really like the missions where you're driving the wagon.
Well, it's not close enough to reality for him. He likes to have the winch. He was really excited to show me. He bought a new truck that he'd saved up for. And then, so the other day he had to get up at 5:30 or something because of something of the water
Oh, he had to buy
company
his turnips.
somewhere.
Yeah.
No, somewhere had like a leak. So we had to go do the leak and like fix the leak and all this stuff. Yeah, and then he comes home and delivers pipes to
She'd somehow work out a way to get paid for
to-
this. Both
to a
jobs.
company.
Yes. This is
so-
off the job training is what it is. This is like when they take the military servicemen into Call of Duty to train them. Like this is exactly what that is.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get all of his coworkers in this.
Oh yeah.
I love this. I absolutely love this. And this tells me Steven loves his job.
That he would
You
spend
know?
all his off time
Yes.
doing the same thing. And I will say one thing is that he earlier today his truck rolled over. He was very devastated.
He was going too fast.
He was no.
You gotta
That's
slow
the
down.
thing. It's all slow, and he was like, "Some of these are so hard, but that makes me want to finish them even more." And let me
Okay,
tell you,
you and Steven could not be two different people. Like
I love games. I'm a gamer. I would never in a million years play that game. He asked me yesterday. He's like, "Oh, you should play SnowRunner," and I'm like, "Pass, pass, and pass again. I will not." No.
What if you would try one of your other games? Like, what if you would play Red Dead if you tried it?
Well, you'd have to start a new file because I don't want him to mess around on mine.
Well, obviously.
here's the deal. I don't know that I personally want him to play any game that you play because
No, it's
I just want us to find more games that Steven will play.
yeah. Well,
I think you would play. I think you would play Farming Sim.
There was how in the sometimes when you get PlayStation games, there's like a little ad that's a little piece of paper inside it for another game that's similar or made by
Yep.
the same people. Well, there was one in there called Mud Runner, and he said,
Oh
"What's
yeah,
Mud-
well that's what
what's
this
Mud
one's
Runner?
based off of.
What's Mud Runner?"
He's in deep.
Excuse me, Kate, what's Mud Runner?
Yeah, I'm like, I have no idea what that is.
So I did a little bit of research on this game, and this Snowrunner is like the follow-up to Mud Runner.
There is like
So
a cult
it's-
following of this game already. Like Reddit,
Oh,
you
yeah.
go over there, people are all over the place doing all kinds of stuff. So I'm happy that Steven's found, I think the timing where like his work schedule has changed because of COVID-19 stuff. So he's just bored more. So I think the timing has been really good because,
Yeah.
there's no other real time where he'd be like, yeah, I'm going to sit and play games for 5 hours. Even I don't play games for 5 hours in a row.
Well, and it really speaks to it really speaks to Steven that when he's doing that, he's playing games in his off time. he doesn't have to justify the games that he's playing. Like, he's legit staying sharp for his job. We're like, well, I got the big Goron sword in Zelda, so like that's
Don't you freaking dare. This is a
so
big
that
run,
helps
okay?
that helps Matt make lattes or something. You know, it's like, you know, he doesn't have to justify it. He's like, this is the truck I drive. This is what I would do.
Yeah. He was like, see this road? Our car could easily make it through this. Our car could easily make it through this. This one's not, this one's not
Your
working.
Prius?
No, not the Prius.
Can you get a Prius in SnowRunner?
That's how you drive to work.
He's referring to our Toyota 4Runner that is decked out for off-road adventuring. Not the Prius whose paint is peeling and I couldn't get to start the other day.
Ooh. I just looked it up, and the game got an 8. I had a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look
I
like
watched an
my
IGN
game
review
either.
and they were very positive about it.
Yeah, Steven should do an IGN
Well,
review.
I think this just goes to show that there's a game for everyone. You just have to find it.
Yes, so we will keep you updated with episode 2 of Steven Speaks. Hopefully next week.
I can't wait.
So
I cannot wait.
stay tuned for that.
Well, enough about what Steven's been playing. This is not the Steven podcast, but I would listen to that. I would subscribe and download every episode. Kate, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Assassin's Creed 3 on the Switch. I don't know if I can finish it. Not that it's bad, it's just making me too sad thinking about it.
Oh. It's not real history, though.
This game has like the most historical people in it than out of all the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
By far, at least in my opinion. I mean, what better time can you look at?
Wait, what?
You know, where things were written down and people were real and there was like actual quotes like George Washington's in this and all this stuff. And I used to really
George
enjoy
Washington's
this.
really in it?
Then it's not the most historically accurate game.
He's in it. No, it's not.
What about Red
Obviously,
Dead?
obviously he's dead, but this is a depiction
Oh.
of him. That's what it is.
Matt doesn't want to play anymore.
I'm
He
out.
wanted to play as George Washington.
Yeah, well, I
in
had it in my
Assassin's
Amazon
Creed.
cart. I just put it back. Yeah, no thanks.
It's just, this is such a melancholy game compared to a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. It's like, the storyline is heavy. It's about, like, the main character comes from, like, a Native American tribe. He's half Native American, and you just see a lot of stuff that is sad. And of course,
Yeah.
you know, you're like, oh man, I'm an assassin now. Like, I'm going to do all this stuff. And his dad is like a Templar who's on the other side of it. You know, as an assassin, it's like assassins versus Templars. And it's just a freaking sad game. Like, it doesn't have a happy ending. I'm pretty sure it's the only Assassin's Creed game that you don't know what happened to the main character in the end. Like, there's no, even like Assassin's Creed lore says, oh, we don't know how Connor died.
What do you?
That's the main
well,
character,
come on,
Connor.
you can't do that.
It's part of the lore. Like, it makes total sense thinking about it. But like everybody else, you know exactly when they died and how they died and all this stuff. And he just kind of, and you know, a lot of people say this is the worst Assassin's Creed game because there's no closure, because it's sad, because it's not like a happy character like the one before, Ezio. And it's like, that's what I love about the game, is that's sad. But now, because it's real, like that's a real thing, you know. And in that historical time period, I mean, sure, there was like the Declaration of Independence and all this stuff, but there's a lot of sad stuff happening too. So
You're making me not want to play this game. I don't want to play a sad game.
here's the thing.
I want
is
to
you
go
have
play Slime Rancher.
You have to be really strong to play this game. And this guy's dad, the Templar.
None taken, thanks.
He's like the first playable character for the first 5 hours is the main character's dad. And you're like, what's going on? And then it's like this whole thing where you think it sets it up so that you think that this is like the Assassin Brotherhood and they're inducting a new dude in. Psych, it's the Templars. And the whole time you're like, what?
Psych.
What? But
But then you get 2 hatchets and you get to go ham.
I know, he's pretty brutal, his combat style.
You push all the stealth to the side and then you just go God of War.
This game really made me read, like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, I identify with the Assassin Brotherhood, like I want freedom and I want all this stuff. But for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a Templar, and there's no denying it. Like, I just am. And then playing playing Assassin's Creed 4, and then playing Rogue. It's solidified it for me, because Rogue, you play from the perspective of a Templar going against the Assassin Order, and it's like those three are kind of like a trilogy. And I'm like,
You're Templar.
I'm a Templar 100%. Like,
Templars are the bad guys.
I think in a lot of games they're portrayed as the bad guys, but really it's two different perspectives on the same goal.
Yeah, it sounds like something a Templar would say.
For
Maybe.
sure.
Yeah.
So if either of you are assassins, I'll be murdering you in your bed at night. So you
I'm not going to tell you what I am.
Okay.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, you'll
And then
figure it
moving
out.
on from the sadness, I played.
I think,
a,
hold on, since you're doing our
What?
social media stuff, Kate, I think that we should have a social media post that's like this if you're an assassin, heart this if you're a Templar, and then we find out what kind of what Harry Potter school people are in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I'll do a poll.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have this open-ended Red Dead file where I just, whenever I boot it up, I just do some chores, do some whatever fun things.
Right, the
with
chores,
me,
yeah.
Which, you know,
Just drive that truck.
Nobody's gonna feed the horses hay. Like, you
That's
gotta
true.
feed them
Yeah,
hay.
they need to eat.
And I played one of the missions, which is probably one of the most iconic video game missions of all time, which is where you take Lenny out for a drink.
No, it's not just one.
Well, I mean, would you agree with me that it's a really
Oh,
iconic
yeah.
video game
Yeah,
mission?
it was. It definitely was. I think it was almost a turning point in that game, too. You kind of feel like
Yeah.
you're connected to these people.
Mm-hmm. So I did that because there were some people that I wanted to come back to the campsite, and one person who I wanted to stay away from the camp. So by doing this, it's just really nice. So get some people back, do some more chores, smoke some more premium cigarettes. If it's not premium, I send it back.
Yeah, no thank you.
And lastly,
Did you download the vaping update for Red Dead?
I did. Premium vapes.
premium vapes.
Yeah,
Bro.
it's actually called Cyberpunk.
That's right.
I've been watching a lot of Inside the NBA clips.
Still?
Still, it's been 2 weeks. I've still been watching the same ones over and over. It's a nice laugh. I like it. So,
Catherine Kadawaki, I cannot believe that you had not seen Charles Barkley's golf swing.
I'd never seen Charles
I
Barkley's
cannot
golf
believe
swing.
that.
That's
It
iconic.
is a thing of legend.
Well, the people who watch sports in my house moved out. Like
I would not.
years ago, so I don't have
Call that
sports on the
sport.
TV. So I don't. Well, no, I looked at that and I'm like, you know what? I suck at golf. I think I should try that swing. Maybe I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna go to the driving range. I'm gonna try it.
Spoiler alert: it does not work for him. So I don't know that it would translate well for other people.
It's his golf swing and his shots like that are better than me trying my best. So at the driving range. So why don't I just try it a little? You know, I watched a couple YouTube tutorials.
Oh,
So-
I want to see this video. I want to see you doing Gnarls Barkley, his golf
Yeah,
swing.
Please.
So we'll-
Yes, please.
We'll see. But those are really entertaining to me. These clips. It just fills me with joy. Somehow I need to get on the show.
Send a tweet.
But
I don't think
know.
it's on anymore.
Yes,
Is it?
is. Yes.
Is it still on?
Well, is it still
Yes.
going on right now, though?
I don't know. Is it basketball season right now?
Oh,
I don't
it's
know.
no seasons.
Well-
Thank you.
All of
that's
all of the pro sports are playing like esports right now,
Oh yeah.
like
Well-
on ESPN and stuff. It's crazy.
I got to get on the show. I really want to meet these guys. I'm not really that.
You
good
got a
at
blue check
sports
mark?
anymore. I know. I just want to be part of the segment called EJ's Neato Stat of the Night, unsullied by sponsorship since 1989. I just want to be part of it. So we got to pull some strings. I asked my friend Greg yesterday if he knew Ernie Johnson Jr., and he said no. And then he said,
Well, who's asking?
also, you should be asking, do they know me? And I'm like, okay, this is a waste of time. So,
Do they?
and last but not least, Matthew Warmberry, you visited my legendary bathroom museum.
I did.
because You were a contributor, so contributors get first dibs.
Was I first visitor?
Yes, you were actually.
I'd like to thank
Only.
the Academy.
No, there was another visitor. There was another visitor after. yesterday
Some
or 2 days
hobo
ago.
wandered in.
2 days ago, I had another visitor who's also a contributor. So what did you think, and how many, on a scale of 1 to 10, would you rate it so far?
10
How many Kates?
Kate toilets. I think I was shocked at the amount of toilets that were in there, or toilet paraphernalia. So is that a thing?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
But what really
Shouldn't be, but it probably is.
It is, yeah. What really made the whole room just come together was the solid gold toilet right in the middle of the room. It just really catches your eye. It flushes well.
Yeah, which you sat on.
I did, yeah. The old gold throne.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So-
I tried to bring you another something, but you already had it. So
I don't know if I had the color, though. I didn't get to look at
Well,
it because I accidentally turned my switch off and kicked you out because I forgot you were there.
I don't remember what color it is. I still have it, but I don't remember what color it is. I don't know if you'd have room for it because it's the same like standing upright.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking about moving the museum from my bottom right room to my upstairs big room.
Because,
so I
yeah,
have
bigger.
more room for bathroom things.
Today, you should. Today I got home from work. I took like a 30-minute nap because when you wake up at 4:30, you get sleepy. Woke up and Ezra was like, "Hey, look at this! Like I have a sink in my room," and I had no, like I'm just like rubbing my eyes trying to like wake up and see. Like I have a sink in my room. I can sit on it. It's the weirdest thing. I was like, "What are you talking about?" It's like Animal Crossing. I have a sink that, for whatever reason, I can sit on it. I was like, "Let me see this." And I was like, "That's not a sink. That's a bidet." And he's like, "What?
A bidet?
What's a bidet?" And I was like, it cleans you with water from the underside. It cleans up your undercarriage."
Your undercarriage.
It's
Was that
really wet
what
toilet
you
paper.
sent
Yeah.
me for your contribution?
Yeah, I think I sent you a bidet.
I think that's what you sent. So, yeah,
I have
that
a
was soon-
sink I can sit on.
Brilliant. Send it to the bathroom museum. Matt, what have you
I
been
just
playing?
love
Oh.
that.
Now I'm trying to remember because we had our missed episode last week. Did I talk about the NHL championships, the playoffs
No.
last week?
You did last week, but nobody's heard it.
Right. I was trying to remember if it was the week episode before that. So I've been playing NHL 20 I'll play about a game a night. Everyone knows this. It's not uncommon knowledge. Yeah, it's common knowledge. So, I make it through the entire season finally. Matt Warmbier only missed a couple games from injury, not like the season before where I broke my leg and missed 80 days. So getting to the first round of the playoffs, and whoever I was playing, I swept them. Like I won 4 games in a row, no problem, feeling really confident. Going into the next round, I am playing the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Tampa Bay Lightning, I feel like they're one of those teams that
I remember this.
Yeah, the computer, they just want them to win. And I know
It's rigged, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like you were saying, Bubba, the Undertaker in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like if the computer doesn't want to lose, they're not going to lose, and they're going to utilize the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Undertaker.
Got to keep the streak alive.
Yeah, like whoever it is. So I know that the computer favors this team. I go in real strong, trying to play my best games. I sit a little bit closer to the TV, that way you have you're just undivided attention. And I win the first 3 games, and you only need to win 4 to move on. So I'm feeling really
So
good.
close.
I'm feeling really good. One of the games I won in overtime. So we're going back to Tampa Bay's, or actually we're still in Tampa Bay, playing at their home ice, and I lose a game in overtime. And I was like, okay, not a big deal. Like I'm still up 3-1. It's totally fine. Next game I play, I lose again in overtime. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh.
I know. So game 6, I was like, it's do or die. I've got to win this game. We're in Tampa Bay. Like it's going to be harder. All the players' stats are a little bit worse when you're playing away. So they just completely destroy me. Like not even close. And I'm not, 13 years old anymore. And I'm not just going to turn a game off and start over again. So I was like, all right, well, we're going to game 7. Getting to game 7, it's a very close game. Back and forth. And mind you, this is only the second round of the playoffs, so I'm like a little bit worried about the future. Worried my guys are going to be tired, and that we're not going to be able to produce in the next couple rounds. So it's a really close game, back and forth. It ends in regulation 3-3. I was like, oh my gosh, we've got to do this like right here, right now. Get into the first overtime. I score a goal, or my team scores a goal. I'm like hooping and hollering. I'm yelping. I'm like, woo, 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 did it. The ref instantly calls it a no goal because the goalie came out of his crease and ran into me, and they called it goaltender interference. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I almost broke the controller over on my knee. I didn't. But I was angry, you know, like you're like really tensed up. I was like, okay, we can still do this. Go into the second overtime. The same freaking thing happens. I score a goal. They call it a no goal because it's goaltender interference. And I was like, freaking Tampa Bay Lightning.
He's doing it on purpose now.
It's like they paid the refs off. The computer wants me to pull all my hair out. So like this goal is a no goal. I go back to the bench because I'm playing Be a Pro mode, and and my guys got to rest. They instantly score a goal and win the game. And like I just feel sick. I'm like, it's over. Like all that hard work. Number 1 team in the league all season. Tampa Bay Lightning roll around.
No Stanley Cup.
No Stanley Cup. Matt Warmbier ends up winning like 5 trophies for the season,
but it doesn't matter if you don't.
Doesn't
have
matter. So I'm having a hard time.
If you're not first, you're last.
I know. I'm having a hard time getting back into it. I've played a few games. I've maybe played like 8 for the next season. And just my team is like, they're dejected. You can tell we're like, we can't win games. We're coughing the puck up. Warmbier's like getting kicked out of games for checking people too hard. I mean, just like he's frustrated. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to keep at it. So I've been playing that sort of. I've also
praying for you.
Thank you.
Praying for your team. Yeah. I'm gonna have my church's Wednesday night prayer group.
Would you?
All the old ladies. I'm gonna have them.
If you could get like some
I'm gonna have
patches
them pray
made
against the Tampa Bay Lightning. How about that?
Yeah, there
against
you go.
them. Yeah. If you can get some patches made
Not
that
for
say,
you, against them.
get some patches made that say believe, and then put MW underneath it or something like that. I'm number 20 in case you need to know.
Yeah, I did.
It's
that was my
okay.
next
Now
question,
we're getting.
what
This is
number-
ridiculous.
what
Well, it's
number
not
should
my
we
ideal
play for?
number, but
Number 20.
but the fans have been jeering me even more. I'll say one more thing. Like, went to the penalty box and they had a sign held up that says retire, like Warmbier retire already, basically. And I'm like, I looked at my age to see what age my player was, and he's only 23. He's not retiring. Get the heck out of here.
That's so good. I love that they're like coming at you.
They hate me. And then also real quick, and I'm sure I'll talk more about this in the future shows. I got an adapter for my Super Nintendo to be able to, like, an HDMI adapter, so I can hook it up to a new TV. And I've been playing through some of the games I have. Maximum Carnage. It's Maximum Impossible. Turtles in Time. That's Turtles
I forget.
4.
Do you play Maximum Carnage as Carnage and Venom, or do you play it as Spider-Man?
You're Spider-Man and Venom. You kind of go back and forth in this story they're doing. It's really difficult. It's a green jelly game. Remember Green Jelly? Just me.
No.
They also did the Beavis and Butthead
I probably would. Did they? I wonder if they did Spawn. Spawn was the one that I played a lot of, the platformer.
It has a similar feel. Turtles in Time. I've been playing that. And I'm kind of like looking around to see what games I want to get and stream. And I've been chatting with Bubba about what it might be. There's an unreleased Zelda game that's fan-made that you can get on a cartridge that sounds absolutely terribly difficult. So difficult.
Here's the thing. Like, I think that this is why a lot of people that make games like ROM hacks and stuff like that, they don't make actual games because they don't know how to make normal games that a human would want to play.
Right.
This Legend of Zelda hack that you're talking about, this ROM is, what was it called? Parallel Worlds?
Parallel Worlds, yeah. It's based on Link to the Past, updated graphics, updated story. The maps totally
like,
changed.
It looks fantastic,
Yeah,
right?
great.
I mean, we all remember when what was it? Ocarina of Time, like Master Quest came out. We're like, oh, everything's like that. You change everything around. It's a brand new game. Same elements, little elevated difficulty, but things are changed, so you're not going off muscle memory anymore. Not so much with this game.
Totally different.
Everything is different, and like down to the blonde hair. Everybody, why does Link always have pink hair? Well, he doesn't anymore.
Not in this game.
But the walkthrough of the game, like, hey, here's how to do the things. 7.5 hours. The walkthrough is 7.5 hours for this game.
Yeah. And
the speed run is like 3 hours. Like the speed run is 3 hours. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's like there's like a before Super Mario Maker was like a real big thing, there were a lot of Super Mario World ROM hacks that came out, and they were kind of lumped under this heading of Kaizo Mario games, because there was a maker out there, his name was Kaizo, and he made these impossible Mario levels. And we play some of them, variations of them in Super Mario Maker now if you want to, but they were just impossible. It's like, this isn't fun. No. Nothing about this game is fun right now. It's just, let's watch you do the most impossible thing that's ever happened. Right. This is a Kaizo Zelda game.
Well, it looks terrible, but I'm interested.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch you break your Super Nintendo trying to play this game.
Yeah. He said the one I watched was like, the save points are few and far between, and especially the first one, it takes forever to get to, and if you die, like, you don't get a sword right away either. Like, you're going through this dungeon, more or less, fighting off guards with pots and bombs.
Yeah, it's like an hour or more without a sword.
Yeah, well,
it's ridiculous, and like nothing is right there in front of you. Like even the items that you need to progress through the game are just completely hidden. They're like in random chests around the world and stuff like that. You have to find extra special big key. It's a whole freaking thing. And Matt, this one I'm legit gonna pray for you about.
This game sounds extremely stressful.
But I kind of feel like I can do it. Like Zelda, like I feel like the Zelda games are probably I'm the best at them. And I'm not the best. I'm not the best at every, compared to everyone that plays Zelda games.
Nice
I feel like,
sports ball reference.
It's my home court advantage. Like, I feel like I can play Zelda games well. I get the idea.
Matt, do you remember Zelda 2, Electric Boogaloo?
That one doesn't count. And I do. Thank you.
I think this is going to be your Zelda 2.
Oh,
hey,
gosh.
well, you're going to do it, and I think it's great, and I can't freaking wait. But you're skipping over the best part about your Super Nintendo. And that's the power brick.
Oh, yeah. I had to order a new one because I plugged it all in. And I was like, "There's no power. What's going on? Why is there no power?" I'm like fiddling with the wires, making sure it's actually like plugged in, messing with wires some more, and then I picked up the power brick while it was plugged in. I squeezed it, and then it worked, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's not good."
Yeah.
So I ordered a new one.
Naturally, you squeezed it. Yeah.
Well, it's
because who doesn't?
Why
wouldn't
squeeze? Yeah. So a new one's
What do
coming
you
out
want me to do? Not
Friday.
squeeze it?
Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's asking for it. So look for me playing more Super Nintendo games ASAP as possible after Friday.
Yes. I just watched a video of like some of the best Super Nintendo games that nobody's ever played. That are like official Super Nintendo games.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll be sending that your way.
Okay, great. Can't wait. What have you been playing?
Hey, last but not least.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hold on. I don't want to brag because I think this is hilarious. So Starbucks is kind of still semi-quarantined, but semi-open.
Yeah, we're closed. We're closed on the inside. But
the rest of us are dead on the inside. You're closed on the inside, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're asking. So it was a little bit ago now. So our lobby is closed off. Like, no customers can come in. If you want to go through the drive-thru and you want to get a drink, cool, no problem. This man comes up to the door and he's like banging on the door, and we're like, "Hey, okay, go through the drive-thru
you
only."
Yelled at him, "What do you want?"
And I was like, "No, sorry, get drive-thru only." And like, he got this look in his face, and he's like, please, I need a chair, please. And like, we were thinking like, man, like we can't put anything out there. Like, we're trying to keep everything completely sanitized. Like, I'm not gonna give you a chair, but you can sit on the patio. That's fine. Like, can't give you a chair. Like, and you can see like this look of like absolute desperation. Yeah. Like, please. And we're like, can't. I'm sorry. Like, I would love to, but I can't. And I'm thinking this man just like, he wants to take a load off. Like, he just wants to sit down, rest. And
take a load off, Sally.
My thought was like, just sit down on the concrete out there. Like, I'm not, like, there's a step he could even sit on. Like, if he really wanted to sit down, like, I'm not going to make him leave. So he kind of disappears and he goes and he sits down on the patio. And I noticed that he pulled out a laptop. I was like, oh. And then I noticed
he's got some business to attend to.
Yeah. And then he's like kind of reclined and he's got a wired mouse sitting there next to him. He's using it. And then I realized, like, oh, he's playing a game. Like, he wanted a table and a chair to play a game on. And so, like, the way he's sitting, like, he had his back to the window so he couldn't see me walking up and peeking over his shoulder to see what game he was playing. I'm like, what? Like, what game is he even playing? He was playing WoW. Like, he had to do his thing with his buddies, and he ended up sitting there for about 30 to 40 minutes playing his, what do you call it? I've never played WoW. His round, his mission. His raid.
Doing
there
a
it
raid.
is. His
Leroy
raid.
Jenkins.
Yeah, Leroy Jenkins it, and then he packed it up and he left. He walked down the road, and I was like, the way he was saying please was like, I thought that his legs were breaking because he had to sit down, but he just wanted to have his computer up off the ground. I guess. I don't know.
Dude, raids are serious business, man. He's got to keep his DKP up. He's got to make sure that he keeps his spot in his raid group. Like,
well,
Don't even know what you're saying.
he needed to have good internet, I guess, and we had it for him.
yeah. I mentioned this last time we were talking about this. I need to go and do that too.
Oh,
I need to take my Animal Crossing up to the Starbucks and sit out on the patio area and let the mat of that place tell me get bent.
Well, you will let me know how it goes.
Just give me your employee number and I'll just start shouting that. And then maybe they'll.
Okay, it's me.
Do you want to say it?
It starts with
You
a
want to
one.
say it out loud?
Yeah, starts with a one.
Just press 2 for a while. Gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What have you been playing, Bubby?
Well, I got like 1,000 new games in. It wasn't 1,000 last week when I was doing this segment, but it is 1,000. I had literally 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 11 games come in the last, I guess week and a half, and more on the way. And it's not because I order them. It's like companies and developers and distributors, they're very, very excited right now for any coverage that they can get. And so I've just kind of been like responding to cold call emails, which, hey, pro tip, respond to, if you're a reviewer or whatever, like respond to those emails and you would actually be surprised at the number of people that will respond back to that. I've had several companies, both in and out of the gaming space, that have responded to those emails. So that's just a pro tip. That one's free.
Cool, I'll write it down.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need it. You've got a blue check mark. Okay, so you're fine. You're good to go. Some of us plebes can't have it.
Someone ignored my tweet.
Yeah. Oh, I ignore them all the time.
No, you don't. You respond to
Was
them.
it me?
90% of the time.
I don't read them. I just heart them. So one of the companies, one of the companies that sent me stuff was Bicycle, and Bicycle, you may know that name because they make cards, like almost any deck of cards you have, not like a bicycle.
Okay.
Yeah, the company Bicycle. And so they sent me like 4 decks of cards, and they actually make legitimate games to play, like board games. And so I've got 3 games here. I've got Shuffle Grand Prix, I've got Alpha and Exchange that we'll be looking at and taking a look at on our YouTube channel. And they also, like, there's a download, and we'll have the information in the show notes, where you can just take a regular deck of cards, and they've developed some games, and then there are some like generic games that you can play just with a deck of cards. And they started really like, yeah, like solitaire. They started really developing this stuff heavily during COVID and during the pandemic, because you may just be at home and all you have is a deck of cards. So we're going to be diving into that, but those are some of the games I got. And then I had a board game wish that was fulfilled. So I got Shadows in the Forest.
Yeah, can
You
you
guys
hold
know
it
about
up?
that game?
Santa? What?
Stick around for it, yeah.
Shadows Shadows. Oh, that's
No,
it.
I see WrestleMania.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Here, listener, I'll tell you why we're laughing. Due to Bubba's custom background, when he lifted up the game, it disappeared, and his whole body disappeared into the background. That's why we're
There
laughing.
we go.
Oh,
There we
yeah.
go.
Okay, I know that game. There we
Yeah,
go.
Shadows.
All right,
Shadows
put the
in the
wrestling back
Forest.
now.
So, yeah, it's a really cool game where like it has a little lantern that lights up, and you hide little figures behind the 3D trees and all sorts of stuff. It's really cool. It's a really fun little game, and I put it on my list for my kids because it's easy for me to buy a game that I can play without my kids. Like that's super easy. It's not easy to buy a game that I will enjoy to play with my kids. So I'm trying to kind of pick these games that I think I would like and I can play with the kids. So we're going to play that. And we also got in Draftosaurus, and that game is just fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like,
It's good.
just easy, no bones about it, fun. It's super simple to learn. I kept having to reiterate myself to my 8-year-old son because it's one of those things where it's almost too easy sometimes. That it's like, no, you just put the dinosaur where you can put the dinosaur given the parameters, and that's it. So I think once that clicked with him, he was fine. But we also have been playing a game called Shobu, and Shobu it's an abstract strategy game where it's kind of chessy. In that you're like moving your rock pieces in certain directions, but it's really, I can't even explain it. We'll just link to it. You have two moves that you can make. All right, I'm going to try to explain it. You have two moves that you can make. The first one is a passive move, and it cannot touch another rock. The second one, you have to mimic that with another one of your stones on a different board. These are not the full rules, but you have to mimic that move with a different stone on a different board that is yours. And it can move and hit another rock. So you're trying to get the other player's rocks off of one of the boards. And first person to do that wins. The trick is there are 4 boards on the table that you're doing this with. So it sounds really weird, sounds convoluted, but the game is so simple to learn. But it's hard to master because it's one of those really like strategic games. It's like, yeah, I know how to play chess, but like to be really good at it, you have to really understand how the game works. So I highly recommend that. If you haven't played Shobu by Smirk and Dagger, get it. It's a fantastic, fantastic game.
Well, it's in the links. I just linked it.
Booyah! Take that, suckers. And I had a chance at Gamma to sit down and talk with the founder of Smirk and Dagger, Smirk and Laughter and Dagger. They have like 2 different companies.
Smirk and
I think
Smirker.
yeah. Smirk and Laughter. Dagger and some it's in the show notes, but anyway, they have like a hardcore game, like very gotcha kind of gameplay. That's one side of the company, and then the fun side of it is the other side, and I think that one's Smirk and Laughter. But anyway, like these are just some of the games that we've been playing, and we want to know what you've been playing. So hit us up online at Free Play Podcast on Twitter and let us know some of the games that you're playing or some of the things that we should be playing. I have more games coming in to be covered and legitimately just to be played to have fun. So if there's something that maybe Matt should be playing and streaming on his Super Nintendo, let us know. If there's a game that you think that Steven would absolutely love on PlayStation, let us know. Or if there's something that you think that that I should be playing or whatever with my kids, hit us up. Let us know what's going down. We have a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, and we would love for you to be a part of that at Free Play Podcast on Twitter. Hey, before we get out of here, we don't normally do this, but this is pretty cool. Like, this is the future of gaming unfolding in front of our eyes. Unreal Engine 5 released a tech demo running on the PlayStation 5. And it's pretty dang dope. Kate, you want to talk a little bit about some of it?
Yes, I will. Actually, to be honest, when they talked about this, or when they showed the little, trailer you could see, I thought that it was going to be starting, I don't know, holiday 2020 or whenever the next gen consoles start rolling out. But no, it is actually going to be early 2021. That's like just the preview of it, and full release of Unreal Engine 5 will be late 2021. So that's like a year after next gen consoles allegedly come out.
It kind of makes you not want to buy any of the first games, right?
Yeah, I'm like, why?
Forget 'em.
Like what? Yeah.
Just
so
get it and play. Just play Tony Hawk.
Oh,
I was kind of
done.
confused by that, but the tech demo kind of shows this like girl walking through this kind of like desert, uncharted, vibey kind of a world, and they did that to show you.
She's definitely
whole,
not Lara Croft.
No, she's
No.
Laura Croft. Wait.
Yeah.
She's Larry
Well-
Croft.
There you go. You got it. There's two basically new features that they're incorporating into Unreal Engine 5 that they talked about, and that was shown in the demo thing. One's called Nanite, where it basically allows developers to build things out of loads more shapes and things to make it look even better and more cinematic. And then you have Lumen, which is as it says here, fully dynamic global illumination solution that immediately
It's
reacts
crazy.
to scene and light changes. So they showed a bunch of stuff like, you're in a half lit by shadows kind of like corridor thing and rocks are falling down, and it just looks dope.
It really
Like-
does. The nanite the nanite technology, and Matt's like, hey, are they in my body? Like, what's happening? Are we
Yeah, no thank you.
remaking my
What
bones here?
terrible name.
But like the way that it draws stuff, they're able to talk about, like they were talking about being able to take their their high resolution art pieces and not having to dumb them down in order to map them onto the geometry. They can take these really detailed like CAD drawings and all sorts of stuff, like these high. They were talking about the high texture renders. Excuse me, that they would normally only use for cinematics, that they're able to put real time into this engine. And for me, that's when my ears perked up, because like things look cool and it's fine, it's whatever. But when you can blur the lines between like high render cinematics in a game and gameplay, I am here for that. I remember when they tried to turn that corner and they just started doing the cinematics with the in-game engine, and it didn't have even close to the same feel for me. But this, being able to not having to see the difference, like that for me was really good. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, did it feel that way when you were playing Detroit Become Human? Like, did it feel like there was like a really, like it was almost the same as the cinematics and the gameplay?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good example. Played it a while ago, haven't played it recently, but that was something that I felt like was a pretty seamless kind of experience between cutscene stuff and gameplay. I'm trying to think
Maybe
if there's another one that I
Control.
could
Maybe
think of.
Control would be a closer. They get away. They get away with a lot because it's third person. You're away. There's not a lot of close up stuff, so you don't have to see like the sweat on the forehead or anything like that.
Detroit was pretty crazy. Like, there's a lot of scenes where there's like rain and stuff, and sometimes I feel like when there's rain in scenes, at least like heavy rain type stuff, it kind of, not necessarily like a cheat way to kind of like cover up some visual
absolutely.
like lacking stuff, but I didn't feel that when I played Detroit. It felt like a really well done high definition environment. I was also playing on the PS4 Pro, so that probably
on
helped
the
it.
8K TV.
The 4K
Oh,
TV.
just
but
4.
Steven wants an
How's
8K,
bragging camp?
8K TV, but yeah, it
Well, he needs it now.
that's
He
like
does.
that's like a really good example of like high definition engine. But this, I saw some complaints actually about this Unreal Engine 5 thing, and it was such a random thing to complain about, where people were like, there's a section in it where she's like crawling through a really tight space to get to like a bigger room in the back that's kind of dark, and people are like, they made her like crawl through this space to like help it load the other room, to help it load. I can't believe they would do that. And I'm like, what are you talking
There's
about?
no way.
Who cares?
There's no way.
Who cares? Like, are they not allowed to put a little corridor where you have to squeeze through? Is that not allowed?
How
Like,
dare they?
Well, even then,
Exactly.
I don't think that that's what happened, because at the end of that tech
I don't
demo,
think so either.
at the end of the tech demo where they're talking about like, hey, this is not just confined to small spaces, and then she steps out into the world, and it's like this will go towards the
Huge.
whole horizon, and then it's
Yeah.
seamless, and she just is like literally flying through the air and lands in the. I mean, everything about it. I don't buy that. I don't buy that
No,
they made
me
her
either.
squeeze
And it's
through a
like,
corridor.
even if that was what happened, who freaking cares? It looked great. Like,
Yeah.
what's the matter?
I never want load time ever again in my entire life.
Well, so here's the deal, all right? So I was watching the history of Tony Hawk, all right? Because Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is coming out, and it's everything that we wanted it to be when Tony Hawk HD and 5 and all that mess came out, all right? So it's an interesting documentary. I loved it. But I was watching, and they were talking about what was it? Tony Hawk American Wasteland, I think is what it was. Like, one of the games boasted no load times, but in order to get no load times, you had to skate through like a long hallway, like what Kate was talking about when she was, she's squeezing through the hallway there. You had to skate through this long hallway that did nothing, and you could still see your character jitter just a little bit, but they still said, hey, no load times, because it didn't go to a load screen and you didn't see a thing, so that's no load times. With this, I think that we do, I'm sure somebody's going to find a way to break it. They're going to put too much in the engine for it to render, because there's always a glass ceiling.
Right.
But I'm excited about it. I would love to just be able to move from space to space and not have to worry at all about any kind of load time. That, as a gamer, that excites me in a big kind of way, because it just opens up the possibilities massively. One of the things I thought was really cool about this tech demo, aside from really all of it, was, I forget what the actual thing, it might have been part of the nanite stuff, I'm not sure, but it was like contextual, like situational reasoning, like as she's walking through, like into the building. They talk about, like, this is not scripted into the game, but because she's close to that object, her arm
she
reaches
puts her hand
out
up on the wall, like,
Yeah. To as she's coming through the door, she kind of puts her arm on the door to walk around. They're like, that's not in the game. That's not coded into the game. But because of the way that the technology adapts, she does that to make it seem more realistic. And I was like, that's bananas. Like, the things that they're starting to code now are just absolutely crazy. And that's going to speed up games. It really is.
so it's like that running with like a PS5 or the new Xbox. It's like, I think they're going to really go hand in hand to create some dopeness for us.
When do the T1000s come out?
You have to buy the upgrade, but it already is a T1000.
Okay, it's part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
Yep. I think that whenever this Unreal Engine 5 fully releases, when you then try and keep your fanboyness at bay here, friends. But whenever it releases and it's unlocked with the power of the Xbox Series X, I think that it is just going to freaking melt people's brains out of their head. And this is an area where I would be okay personally. I would be okay with some of the stuff that we've seen with the Switch so far, right? Which is, well, hey, didn't we play that game 12 years ago? I would absolutely love for them to go, hey, console, here are all of those MMOs that you wanted from 1,000 years ago. Here's World of Warcraft at full resolution. Here you go. You could never have this before because we talked about doing this with consoles, but we couldn't. Now we can. Here you go. I would love that. But I don't know. That's just me. I've been wanting that for a long time. So maybe it's good that it hasn't happened. I can't wait to see Maximum Carnage in Unreal Engine 5.
8K.
Oh my God. Yeah, get that 8K.
Yeah. But if you haven't seen it, we'll link it in the show notes, and we'll make sure that you guys have a chance to see this demo. And let us know, what do you think about it? Are you excited? Do you have some concerns? It's really hard for me to have concerns. Obviously, tech demos show off a lot of things that maybe games will never use. But then again, you can go back and look at some of these other tech demos from, PlayStation 4 and 3 and all this stuff. And you can see how they used it in like Spider-Man or, Nathan Drake and some of the, falling animations he had and stuff. So I don't know. I'm curious. Hit us up on ye old Twitter at Freeplay Podcast and let us know, are you excited about this? Or are you just going to play pixel games? Are you going to go your 2D stuff like Matthew Warmbier?
I'm fine.
But you know what? Hey, that's going to do it for us on the 91st episode of the Free Play Podcast. Be sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, radio.com. Probably somebody's found a way to put us on Hot or Not. I don't know. We're probably out there somewhere.
Is that still a thing?
I think it is, yeah. Look for us on Match.com, eHarmony. Just search at Free Play Podcast. We're probably there. And just wherever you listen to podcasts, hey, if we're not there, please let us know. You can also always go to lovethynerd.com/freeplay, and there's an RSS button that you can click on to listen in your favorite aggregate device. If you're not already following Love Thy Nerd, do it. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Love Thy Nerd. And on Facebook, we've got a group that you can join. I say you have to join it. It is a closed group. We try and keep the trolls out. We don't always do well at that. But the way that we keep the gates closed is making you answer one question. What's up, nerd? And that's it. Literally, that's all you have to do is answer that one question. With anything. We had a really interesting thing come through the other day and let that person in. So, it doesn't matter. You just have to do that. And that just lets us know that you've read the rules and you understand what our community is and what it is not. And even then, sometimes people get through the cracks. So it just makes you stop and smell the roses. That's all. Hey, also be sure to follow us, Free Play Podcast. I don't know if I said that. Follow us on Twitter at Free Play Podcast. Yeah, just do it.
I think you did, but just say it again because they probably didn't.
Yeah. At Free Play Podcast. And I would also personally love it if you would come hang out with us on Discord. lovethynerd.com/Discord. We've got a music bot that's rocking a really sweet playlist right now. Matt's working on his playlist for the Discord.
Yeet.
Must be working.
Yeah, yeet. He's feverishly working. I mean, just round the clock.
I'm working on a KSM only music for Discord.
I'm in.
Yeah, it is a short playlist. But we've got a lot of stuff going on in there. And I mean, you can do video chat, voice chat, all the stuff. If you're not familiar with Discord, Google it and also just hit us up, lovethynerd.com/Discord. We would love to have you in there. Well, guys, like I said, that's going to do it. I'm Bubba Stallcup.
I'm Matt Warmbier.
I'm Kate Kadawoki.
And for our cut man, Jonathan Clausen, we'll catch you next week, or maybe in 2 weeks if Matt's audio didn't record again.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for us, please.
And hey, if nobody else tells you this, I promise it's true that Jesus loves you, nerds.
You have been listening to the Free Play Podcast with Bubba Stallcup, Matt Warmbier, and Kate Kadawoki, part of the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. Be sure to rate and review the show and share on all the social media.
That should have been perfect because your metronome still on, right?
Oh, yeah, but I had done 3-4 times. Is that okay?